When you're talking about what drew you to this job, it's about building something. How has that changed as you've looked at the project from coming in, having some challenges, getting all those pieces put together, and finding the right pieces to build what turned out to be a great season and maybe the building blocks for great seasons to come. Uh, how have you approached that from a coaching perspective to kind of blend in some of those veteran players taking on new roles and some of those new pieces?
So I think in building, a club, there's again so many things that go into it that you might have a blueprint that good coaches, good presidents, GMs have that works. And obviously, if you've had a club that's been successful, you have experience um, in what you want in a roster. You have experience in what you want in a staff. You have experience in how you build your locker room. And so you work from that. But I also think as time goes on and as you move to different situations, I've learned that you have to take those experiences and also um, listen, learn, and adapt and continue to innovate um, that blueprint. And you see it all the time. A coach is successful early and then tries to do the same thing, round peg, square hole, and it doesn't work at the next club or the next situation. Um, but you've also seen it the other way where there is no identity, there is no philosophy, there is no way of working, methodology, if you will. And I think what I try to do is to go into each situation. I know the vision I have, ideally. Um, I know how I have done things in the past, so I work from that. But also, I want to start by working with the people that are there and the new people that I collaborate with, whether it's Tim, whether it's new assistant coaches or new players. I I'm not stubborn, I want to keep learning, keep being challenged, and um, I think that I've tried to do that at every stop. Um, so I don't know if that answers your question, but I think I've done that here. I've grown here. I've changed some things here on this job. I've become much better in a lot of different ways over the last 2 years since leaving Portland. I think that's a real key to sustaining success. Um, I'm 45, been coaching a while, but if I want to keep winning and keep getting jobs and being successful on those jobs, then I need to be able to work with people, adapt to different situations, whether it's budgets, whether it's, a new group, a new transition. Like this was different for me to take over this type of job. Um, and I think that's helping me grow. And it's also helping me stay motivated and stimulated. And I think it's enjoyable. I'm moving in a stage in my career where I don't want to have the same people with me. I don't need to bring all the same players everywhere. Maybe I bring one in Nagby, but I like working with new people and learning from them. I've learned a lot from my assistant coaches. I've learned a lot from Tim, learned a lot from Pat Onstad and some of the other people in his leadership team. And I've learned a lot from these players as well. But at the same time, you do have to have a way of doing things. And for sure, I have a way of doing things. And that process has, I think, been the overarching blueprint that I've used every place. But it's got to keep evolving because the game's changing, this league's changing all the time, and what worked last year isn't going to necessarily work the next year.
But Caleb, congratulations. You're one of 5 coaches in Major League Soccer who's won the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference now. Just what does it mean to you to be amongst that group? And then Tim, maybe from your perspective, why does Caleb belong in that group of coaches?
I think the thing about me, and people internal know this and the people external usually don't, is I don't think about myself. Winning is not about, it's not for me. I don't grab the trophy when we win it, if you notice that, not once. It's about the players. It's about helping them win it. It's it's never about me. I lead the players to accomplish things and to build memories forever that they'll think back on, and relationships they had in that locker room. That's what I do it for. That's what gets me out of bed. That's every day what motivates me to give what I give, is to see those guys in the locker room celebrating, having a trophy, all the little moments, the showers, I won't get into all of them, but that's why I do what I do. It's not because I want to win and I go home and sit in my office alone and look at my rings or I don't think about that 1 second. And so I think sometimes that gets confused, because of sometimes my media interviews, which I've learned to come off a little better. When I was younger, I was a bit of a, cocky, and I learned to share a little more and care a little bit more about how I come off in those situations, because it's painted a picture of me that's a little bit inaccurate. But also, it's part of why I came off that way, is I really care about the team and the players. I care about coaching. I care about all the things that matter to me. So anyways, what was the question about winning? Me? I don't think about that stuff.
Caleb, wanted to ask you just an on-field question, just purely, you played this team so long ago. Is there an opportunity to learn much in revisiting that match? Is there any real value in that? Or does it just kind of wipe the slate clean and move forward with what you've seen most recently in their form in preparing for Saturday?
I think anytime you can draw on an experience of playing a team, it doesn't matter if it's early or late or even last year to some extent, if it benefits you. There's some games you'd prefer to just forget about. You're not bringing those up too much to your players. But when you play a very good team like Seattle, the past champions, I think this is their fourth final in 5 years, and you can say, listen, we went there, guys, early in the year, which we're a much better team now than we were then. But we went there early in the year and we matched them on the road, and it took a penalty kick for them to score and tie. I think that helps. It helps because on paper, when you see what they've done, when you compare us to them on paper, they're for sure the favorites. But games aren't played on paper, fortunately. And I like my team's chances. I like the group we have. I think we've got a talented team, just like they do. We defend well. We attack well. We're balanced. I think that's our edge. We're a team. We're balanced on both sides of the ball. We're very confident right now. And we do have some match winners. We have some guys that can change a game like they do. But I think it's, I think it's no coincidence what they've done, Seattle Sounders. When you look at their roster, look at their talent, and look at their locker room, look at their coach, look at Garth Lagerwey. There's no coincidence why they've done as well as they've done. So it's going to be a really exciting game. I told the guys I wouldn't want it any different. If we're going to win a championship on our home field, I want to do it against the best team. And certainly the Seattle Sounders are the best team, hopefully next to us.